this little girl. Her name was Poor Pitiful Pearl. And she met a violent end. You'll notice the stab wounds, both front and back. She was found lying on her back in Beaver Creek, Menifee County, Kentucky. Pee Wee Herman found in the Cumberland River with his hands and his feet severed. His vocal cord was severed as well, so most people think it was a organized crime. And then we have the little alien baby with the third eye in her forehead. Being an anthropologist and looking at human behavior, especially anthropomorphs, it came as a surprise to me that you would find these hard plastic body anthropomorphs out in the middle of the woods, sometimes even in the wilderness. What were they doing in the middle of a wilderness? How did they end up there? How did poor pitiful Pearl, who was some little girl's prized baby doll, end up with multiple stab wounds? I don't think a 4-year-old was wielding that type of knife at the time. And so I began bringing in the ones that I found, and pretty soon it showed that there were more and more of these out there. And they weren't just discards. There were stabbings and burnings and gunshot wounds and decapitations, sexual molestations. Activities that you don't normally associate with small children. So what's going on here? Right now I'm just trying to document how old the victims were, what the conditions were that they were found in, hopefully determine some sort of a pattern that will lead to a better understanding of the mutilization of baby dolls, and ensure that no baby doll is wasted. I'm Cecil R. Eisen, the lead scientist at the Home for Wayward Baby Dolls.
The owner of this doll neglected to make arrangements for her ongoing care. At the owner's death, uncaring heirs turned the doll over to a company to be sold or thrown away. Now she sits in the window at the Home for Wayward Baby Dolls, wondering if she was ever really loved at all. Don't let this happen to the ones you love and leave behind. So my name is Bet Eisen, and I am the Executive Director for the Home for Wayward Baby Dolls. I decided I wanted to be a museum technologist in high school. So I decided to go to a little 2-year school in Trinidad, Colorado to take that course.
I just pulled into town to the school, and there was this little hot blonde out back on the museum steps playing a flute.
And I just thought he was so cool. He was really cute.
She was a hot babe, that's what I thought. And then we ended up on an archaeological dig together. And that's when I found out she had money. And I married her because at the time I had 1 can of peas in the house, and she had $500 in her savings account plus a TV. So I decided right then that that was the woman for me.
So that's how we met. People who just drive by sometimes think, oh my God, this is really a weird place. But people who actually stop and come in really like it. People have said, well, I saw pictures and I thought this was going to be a really weird place or really scary. And then they get there and it's just not. You know, some people decorate with pink plastic flamingos. We put up broken baby dolls. Most of these baby dolls are ones that people have brought. Mickey Mouse with throat slit. Bob's California Dump, California Road, near Wilson Creek, Carlisle County, Kentucky.
Just then, entire box of them, including the original Smokey the Bear. This was Teddy Roosevelt's. And that straw was stuck in Yellowstone National Park right when he created the National Park system. I've received both Ken and Barbie from a law enforcement officer in McCreary County who had found them at the end of a logging road. Barbie had been molested, and Ken had part of his face burned off and a condom pulled down over his body. This is Research Area 14C, and it's devoted primarily to Barbies and Barbie wannabes. The Barbie wannabes can't hold a candle to true Barbies and perseverance. No one can compare to Barbie for a head of hair that lasts. Barbie hair will outlast any other doll's hair by a factor of 10. During the early days, the formative years of forensic anthropomorphology, some of the early victims that were recovered when I worked at the Forest Service. And you'll notice we talked earlier about poor pitiful Pearl. There she is, and along with some of her friends. I had an office full, overflowing. It was hard to determine what I should keep. Should I keep the dolls or should I keep the documents? A severe brain fart made me incapable of dealing with powers that be, more so than the dolls. This is a trek that the dogs and I take daily. We have about close to a 50-acre walk around that we take every morning. This is Trollville. If you'll notice, they hang out under the steps quite a bit. I don't know if they party at night or not, but in the morning they're usually back where they belong. Occasionally one will run away and have to bring him back. Mr. Og lives in the lower hut there. He's the dude that was outcast, dumped off. No one wanted him. Here, you take him. No, I don't want him. You take him. And so finally, the Home for Wayward Babydolls adopted him. And he was a forest creature, so he built himself a little log village here. He had a bride at one time, but they didn't get along too well. This is my favorite playground when I was a kid. We had a small little log fort right here, made out of pine poles. And since I was in the younger crowd, I got to sit out back and try to warm my fingers through the cracks. They had a stove inside, but it was only big enough for the elders of the crowd.
This is Cecil, the summer he got back from Vietnam, sitting on the porch, I believe, of the house that was next to this. And then it's just all the pictures of his family. That's his, this is his dad telling me to put down my camera and come help hang tobacco. And this is Dad when he was little.
I always thought he was a god. I'm totally different. He was pretty much a no-nonsense person. That he was pretty much straightforward, just a loving father. I'm the opposite. I have not a whole lot of respect for authority. And to see the world differently. I just like playing.
He's always made interesting things. Who knows where they come from? But a lot of those things, I think, are that there's truth in there somewhere, too. But it is hard to tell sometimes whether it's what's true and what's not true. I would say that if there's anything that he says that sounds really foolish to you, then it's probable that he doesn't believe it. Except maybe at the moment he's telling it to you.